all your photo, video, and voiceover needs, check out the fine folks at Blueberry Productions. They will take good care of you. If you don't believe me, you can see for yourself. Check out their work at blueberryproductions.tv, the Facebook page, Blueberry Productions, also a Vimeo page, a YouTube page, and it's Blueberry, BLUBERRY, Prod on Twitter. Check them out today. Blueberry Productions, great people, great work, great service.
Hey there, your yard took a real beating this summer. Luckily, Scott's Turf Builder Winter Guard has your back. Just feed your grass with Scott's again this fall when the air is cool and the soil is warm. It's the perfect time to give your lawn a boost. If you do, Winter Guard will give your yard the nourishment it needs to help weak, thin grass recover and support root growth, giving you a greener, more resilient lawn both now and next spring. Guaranteed. Grab a bag of Scott's Turf Builder Winter Guard today. You'll be back to barbecuing in no time. This is a Scott's Yard.
Hey parents, we all try to be extra careful with our children in the car, but then we get an important call or text. Remember, our children are watching. Make every drive a good example. Be in the zone. Turn off your phone. Visit childrenshospital.vanderbilt.org/BITZ to learn more about our teen driver safety program. Brought to you by Monroe Carroll Jr. Children's Hospital at Vanderbilt, the Ford Motor Company Fund, and the Allstate Foundation.
Hello, my name is Travis Williams, President and CEO of Academics and Athletic Consulting, focusing on educating and empowering tomorrow's collegiate athletic leaders. My passion is for the education and genuine concern and care for today's student athlete. It's the centerpiece of my life's work. A college education, both in and out of the classroom, is a truly rewarding benefit. For more information on AAC, you can go to www.academicsandathleticsconsulting.com. Once again, www.academicsandathleticsconsulting.com. Or you can follow me on Facebook at Academics and Athletic Consulting, or Twitter at Coach TWill24, or Instagram Travis L. Williams 24. Or you can call me at 404-542-6079. Once again, AAC is very proud to partner with J.R. McHenry of the Bossman Radio Show, covering sports and entertainment across the country. Please tune in weekly for informative, entertaining, and expert analysis on today's sports and entertainment topics. Thank you.
All right, folks, back here on the Bossman Show here at Robert Jones, coach of Norfolk State Spartans out of the MEAC Conference. Coach Jones, first of all, how are you and your family doing, man, through all this COVID crisis, man?
Everybody doing okay. Everybody's, safe and sound so far. Thank God, and just trying to continue to be safe and sound in these times.
Now, Coach, let's go back to March at the MEAC tournament, man, when you all found out when everything was getting shut down. I know for me, it was my birthday, March 11th, when the Hawks and Knicks shut down. I got the text messages, we're going to suspend the season. And since my birthday, it's kind of been crazy. I know y'all in the MEAC tournament going on. So how was it for you and your team and whole experience, and especially for your seniors who got to hit in on that kind of a note there?
I mean, it was tough for them. I think that the day that they shut down the MEAC tournament, we were supposed to play a couple hours later. We never played one game in the tournament. So, we were supposed to play that night as our opening game in the quarterfinals. But we never played. And we knew during the day that it wasn't going to happen because we had shoot around that day for the game. But then after shoot around, we started seeing, league after league after league canceling. So we knew it was just a matter of time if we were next. We were hoping that maybe we would have played, but once everybody else canceled, we was the last one standing. And it was like, they got to cancel now. So it was over with that. But just having that conversation with the guys, and not just the seniors especially, that they won't have a chance to go to the NCAA tournament. But those young guys who put in a lot of work, last year we had a team that we had 10 new guys, and we kept progressing over the season. And we had, we were going into that tournament on a 3-game winning streak. And, we were like the highest rated, team, like as far as RPI net ranking in the conference heading into the MEAC tournament. So although we weren't the number 1 seed, we were 1 game out of first place. We had the highest ranking in the momentum going into the tournament. So we were looking forward to the tournament, but once again, we couldn't do it. It crushed everybody, coaches, players, seniors, freshmen, everybody. It crushed.
And I know this played a big role for your academic advisor, because getting guys going to be from on campus to now going virtual, that transition had to be hard for some of the guys who are used to that structure, being on campus with you guys in that flow of study halls and the help you have on campus. So academic advisor played probably a big role in getting your young men to do the spring semester and the summer here as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think them and us, we had to make sure we keep up with these guys too, because now, like you said, it's not, it's easier when a kid knows that if he misses class that you might go run him, outside on a track or something like that for missing class, but it's a little harder when, if he misses something and he's 500 miles away from you. It's a little tougher to try to have that same punishment. But academic advisors did a great job. The coaching staff, did a great job, and we were able to. Our team GPA was almost 3.2. It was 3.195 last semester with during the pandemic. So that was good for us.
And that just shows how your young men, are responsible and accountable, because, it's easy during that time to get back home. Like you said, coach, and nowhere near me, I can not do an assignment, even though you're probably up on Blackboard still. But, the accountability factor is not as there because you're not on campus. So if you're a young man to come through that strong for you like that with a over B average, man, kudos to them for sure.
Yeah, without question. So it was definitely a good semester for us. Academically, it was a good semester.
Now, Coach, so with the guys being at home, I'm pretty sure your strength and conditioning coach played a big role too, because, guys not made to get to a hoop. You want them to be in some kind of physical condition, and they're better be in tip-top shape as they come back to campus here real soon. But it's like, how did that go? Trying to keep guys, give them workouts, kind of do stuff where they don't have a hoop and in the home and walking and running, stay in some kind of shape during this whole time of shutdown.
Well, the strength and conditioning coach, yes, has been very influential in setting exercises and things like that. We've also set up something ourselves. We use the Nike Run Club app, that is free, and we put up challenges, whether it's this week do 5 miles, this week do 3 miles, whatever the challenge is, so we can know that the guys are doing something and they have to record it, in the app. I guess that's free knowledge to any coaches out there that's trying to figure out a way to, keep their guys in condition. You can use the Nike Run Club app. So that's that's for free right there, that little tip right there. So we've used it, and just to keep the guys something going. You got to keep them in some kind of shape. They're not going to be in the shape that they should be in exactly, but you don't want them to get so far out of shape that's going to take forever for them to get in shape.
Most definitely, Coach. During this time, Coach, I know you probably had to talk to you guys about being responsible, saying no when you want to say yes to certain things, because, it's once we get them accountable as a team, because, if you only got to get too sick or get a family member because I want to go out and have some fun or the barbecue or whatever the case may be. So how have you been trying to stress to your guys about, even though you're young, this thing can still bother you and cause you some lasting damage if it's not taken care of properly?
I mean, that's the toughest part sometimes, because these kids, sometimes young kids, they're invincible to what's going on, and you're not, COVID affects people of all ages. Of course, it does affect people older, a little different, but it does affect people of all ages. All ages, people are getting sick. All ages, people are dying. So, you're not oblivious to it because you're 18, 19, 20 years old. And I think some of these young guys think that. So we've been just trying to be conscious as far as, like, educating them on how serious this is. Like I tell people all the time, like, I'm not necessarily running from the disease, but I'm not scared of the disease, but I'm not running to it either, though. And stuff like that. So I wear my mask. When I'm in public places, I encourage them to do the same. I got my hand sanitizer. I wash my hands. I do everything that I'm supposed to do to try to avoid as much as possible the disease.
Especially, like you said, like right here in Atlanta, like Georgia State's quarterback's out for the year with the heart issue that he had from COVID-19. So, like, guys their age are affected by, I know some of the Big Ten had a report saying about the biggest fear about guys who had asymptomatically was the heart issue still, the heart muscle enlargement. So, in that can affect the guy running up down the court or a field. If your heart's a little bit enlarged, that can end badly for you. So I hope the young men out here listening to the show today will understand that, hey, even though you're young, it can still have a lasting effect. If you don't have any, quote, symptoms per se, it's still doing something to you internally.
Yeah, without question. I mean, that new thing that they're finding out about the heart, even though, you said, you can walk around in the actual COVID, you're not coughing or you're not, lost taste or smell or anything like that. But then the long-term effect with the heart disease is a scary thing. So, just trying to make sure everybody is as safe as possible. We realize that probably throughout the course of a year, and we hope that it doesn't happen, but, someone might catch it, unfortunately, because that's just, so easy to catch. But we're trying to do everything that we can to educate the guys on precaution, and also precaution once they, get around other college students, that are non-student athletes. Just trying to have them be the ambassadors to let people know, that to make sure you practice the safe protocols, because it could affect everybody. And, selfishly, of course, it could affect the student athletes, tremendously.
And Coach, looking at, everything here with recruiting wise, have you ever been expanding your reach? Because everybody's using Zoom now, so if you've been able to get into different areas now, not having to travel, you can just Zoom them and show them like the campus virtually now, talk to the family virtually here. So how's that Zoom recruiting been for you guys, and how's it helped you in your future classes here coming up?
It's been interesting. It's been tough too, because at the same time, you want to sit down and look somebody in the eyes, and really try to get a feel and have them look at you in your eyes so you can see the passion of you. I think sometimes, the passion or way a kid is or demeanor doesn't really fully come across in Zoom as when they're sitting on the couch in your office, and you can really talk to them. So that's been tough in that regard. Now, financially, of course, it's been easier because you have to use a lot of the budget to do anything, recruiting-wise. And then I do think that people are, becoming more receptive of Zoom, recruiting and things like that. So it's not so far-fetched. I mean, I know we've done, the podcast before together and stuff like that. So, I definitely took the call, but I'm zoomed out, man. I'm not even gonna lie to you, man. I'm zoomed. Like, we do a lot of Zoom stuff. It's cool for what it is, but you definitely want to get that in-person contact.
Most definitely. From my side, it's good to see you guys rather than on the phone. For me, it's good. I mean, for me, the Zoom thing was like, oh yeah, you can do Zoom now via from your house. I was like, cool. Yeah. I ain't got to go downtown no more. Cool. I can see people now. Okay, cool. So they set me up with. So I like to get able to see you guys now and talk to you that way now. But yeah, man, I feel you, man. I can feel you being zoomed out for sure. And now, Coach, you kind of talking about the budget here. I'm worried about the HBCU schools, especially the small schools, because, like, look here, man. Let's be real about it. I've seen some of these contracts for games, and I know what they are. They loaded with these COVID clauses, and if you have fans, if you don't have fans, and men's basketball and women's basketball and football, the money raising schools for HBCU schools for the most part, but the revenue-wise, covering everybody. So I know the season might be pushed back to Thanksgiving. So how is that being sitting down with your AD and people around the budget about, if the guarantee games are not there for you guys, how y'all going to kind of get through this year, man, if they take that away from you guys to recoup that money down the road?
I think credit to, I know I'm not quite sure what a lot of other places are doing, and I know there's, different places doing different things, but credit to our institution, I would say, is that there is institutional help to get through this year, because they understand that athletically it's going to be a deficit. It's probably going to be a big deficit athletically. But the institution has now, has helped out with some help covering some of that deficit, so it won't hit us as hard. We haven't we haven't had to drop any sports or anything like that I see some other places have done, so, credit to the higher ups at Norfolk State for helping athletics. But it's definitely going to be a deficit. I mean, our season, even though it's going to be probably pushed back a couple weeks, more than likely, you can reschedule some of those games and make some things happen, so we probably won't lose that much revenue. We'll probably lose ticket sales, and I'm not quite sure how many fans and things like that is going to happen. But as far as the games, we'll probably be able to figure that out now. But on the football side of things, that's the tricky part because, they had guaranteed games set up themselves. And I'm not quite sure they're going to be able to make up any of those guaranteed games, especially with them not playing to the spring. And then some of the Power Fives are playing now. So it's like they're not going to play now and in the spring, so it's like, it's all over the place with that. So we'll see what happens with that.
And Coach John, let's just talk about this issue, man. Now that you've been the head coach at HBCU school, a lot of young black men on your roster. So how have you attacked talking to the young men about the social unrest with George Floyd murder, Brown Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, Ray Sharp right around my backyard, and other deaths? So how have you attacked that with your young men trying to understand what's going on in our country right now with that side of things as well?
I think like I've said, and of course, as you probably know, this is a popular question on any interview or anything like that. But the thing that I say, man, and I say it all the time, is that it's being a 41-year-old black man in this country, and teaching, and coaching predominantly African American young men, on my team. This is a conversation that we've had before in the past, before those unfortunate murders of, all those people that you named, George Floyd, and you go down the list, Breonna Taylor, and the shooting of Jacob Blake, and all the other stuff like that, and everything in between, as, we have talked about this before. We talked about this last year, the year before, stuff like that, just the racial injustice. The thing is that I say is that I think myself, of course, being a little older than them, you kind of grow up and you see different things, growing up, so you've seen this story before, and it's like, unfortunately, you almost become numb to it a little bit, and that's unfortunate. But I do think that, like, some of these younger guys, because they play sports, and sports is kind of almost like a racial bridge, like you got black guys, white guys, all on the same court, all on the same field, all on the same team, playing and pulling for each other, that they almost don't realize the full racial injustice that there is in the country. So like now, like they're seeing this stuff up close and personal, is like making them like fired up, and that's why you see like a lot of the millennials marching and protesting and things like that, because like I think honestly sometimes these younger kids almost forgot there was racism, or didn't believe there was racism.
Exactly.
So now that they see it in the forefront, with the technology of camera phones and other recording devices, they're like, wow, that really happens? Like they was like, they're almost oblivious to it. And then now it's like right there, and now it's like causing a big uproar among the younger folk, because like I said, once you get past a certain age, I think you become numb to it, because you've seen this story before. Like, it's unfortunate for all those people that you named, but we can go back 10 years and start naming more people. We can go back 20 years and start naming more people. So it's like, we've had these conversations before. So like, it's really nothing that we're doing so different in this day and age now with these guys than we haven't already talked about with other teams. Only thing now, we just try to make sure if they want to talk to us, we're able to, comfort them a little bit in this situation.
And I know a lot of coaches have talked to me about voting and making sure your team's registered to vote. Is that an initiative you all are pushing for you guys to make sure all you guys registered to vote? Because I know election is very, very crucial and key for a lot of reasons for our people going forward.
No, without question. That's one of our big initiatives. And I think we almost got everybody so far. I think we had like 88%, something like that. So we got a couple more guys that got to register. But, like I told people before, I'm not going to tell you who to vote for, because that's not my job. But I do think that you've earned the right to vote. So vote for somebody. Go through the next couple months and decide what candidate, you want to vote for. I'm not, like I said, I'm not telling anybody to vote, who to vote for, anything like that, because I think there's flaws on both of those candidates, honestly. There's it could be perceived pros on both of those candidates too. So, you make your decision, but definitely exercise your right to vote, because your ancestors got you that right to vote.
And Coach, I'm 33, you're 41, so you know what I'm saying here. Like, for me, I'm the first one in my family to have full rights on paper, per se. My father's born in 31, mom born in 41, so I've older parents. But for them, they didn't want both full rights, and I do. So I feel like I have to push this issue for my parents. We didn't have it because, you and I was born full rights, but our parents were not. So I feel like we got to express it and teach our young men, like, hey, look, it's more than what you think it is, because now it's out there again. Some people, like you said, kind of got numb to it and didn't think it happened. And I try to explain racism is subtle, it's systemic. It's not just calling you an N-word, right? It's systemic and more subtle than that. It's more nuanced than that. And I try to tell my white listeners is that unless you know it and deal with it, you ain't gonna see us. Deal with it the way we do. So it's not gonna be like clear cut for you the way it is for us.
Yeah, real question. I agree. Just like I tell, some of my white counterparts is that, like, I can't tell you how to be a white male. I can't tell you how you feel, being a white male. and you can't really understand how I feel being a black male, honestly. You know, until we can try to educate each other on both sides, because I mean, I can't tell you how it is to be a white male, you know, or you know, they can't tell you, you know, they can't tell me how it is in my shoes. So it's like, you know, when we're trying to educate you on how it is, just listen a little bit, you know, and not think that it doesn't exist. You know, you can take your own views or whatever, but just listen to what's actually, you know, said. Like, listen to like how we feel, listen to, you know, what we've been through, and don't think that like, oh my God, no way you've been through that. Yeah, yes we have, you know, and stuff. Just because we don't. Some people, most of us, don't go and cry about it every day. You know, don't mean we it's not going on, and we haven't, you know, been through it. We just try to figure out a way to just navigate through the nonsense, you know, and stuff. So that's all.
Most definitely. Coach Jones, I thank you for your time today, man, on a Friday, man. I appreciate you always coming on the show, man, and we'll definitely do this again down the road, man. I know you zoomed out, man. It was fun to see you, man. Talk to you and see you, man.
For sure, man. For sure. Anytime, man.
All right, folks, it's Robert Jones from the Bossman Show.
You can't touch this. You can't touch this. You can't touch this. You can't touch this. You can't touch this.
Hip hop fans, I got a great album for you. The debut album from Family Grind ENT, True Speech and 313 Fresh. We're going to give you 2 discs, 33 songs of pure, genuine hip hop. Albums available on iTunes, Amazon, Google Play, illstreetrex.com, and streaming live right now on Rhapsody, Beats Music, Spotify, Xbox Music, Slacker Radio, and SoundCloud. Check them out today. True Speech and 313 Fresh. Family Grind ENT. Believe in it. Get it.
A gorgeous tan from Suntan City gives you an inner glow that relights the fire when you run into your first crush.
Vicky, who was that?
An old boyfriend.
Lucky you just tanned at Suntan City.
Lucky he's single. We're doing lunch tomorrow.
Won't be single for long then.
During Tour of the City, try all 5 tans, including spray tan, for just $4.99. Restrictions may apply. Click to buy now.
Suntan City, let yourself shine.
When you're a teen, you finally get to make some of your own decisions. Who are you going to hang out with? What do you want to be? Are you going to glance at that text while driving? Remember, a split second is all it takes for something tragic to happen. Be in the zone. Turn off your phone. Visit childrenshospital.vanderbilt.org/BITZ to learn more about our teen driver safety program. Brought to you by Monroe Carroll Jr. Children's Hospital at Vanderbilt, the Ford Motor Company Fund, and the Allstate Foundation.
It's maybe the night that my dreams might let me know. All the stars are closer. All the stars are closer.
Tell me what you gonna do to me. Confrontation ain't nothing new to me. You could bring a bullet, bring a sword, bring a morgue, but you can't bring the truth to me.
Alexa, play Kendrick Lamar and SZA.
Okay. Maybe the night that my dreams might let me know. All the stars are closer.
With Amazon Music, a voice is all you need. Get tens of millions of songs. Download the Amazon Music app today.
Yeah, it's your man JC, the host with the most, baby, and it goes down each and every Saturday night right here in the city of Memphis. That's right, y'all. It goes down at Clicks Sports Bar Memphis, baby. 3705 Malco Way, Memphis, Tennessee, 38125. Come out and join us, the Three Kings, each and every Saturday night for the livest karaoke in the city. Everybody gets in free till 10 p.m. Only $5 after. Great food. We got drink specials. We got all kind of games, man. We got the pool tables popping. Whatever you want, we got you, man. Come on out. Have a good time with us each and every Saturday night. That's Clicks Sports Bar, Memphis.